Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and allow the weight of the modern world to gently slip away. Imagine the frantic rush of your daily life melting into a soft golden haze. As you exhale, the noise around you fades into a tranquil silence, replaced by the faint, soothing rhythm of rolling waves and a warm, scented breeze blowing across an ancient sea. You're no longer where you were. You're standing on the deck of a wooden merchant vessel, drifting lazily across the deep turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea. The year is 47 before the Common Era. The afternoon sun shines with a comforting, radiant warmth against your skin. Up ahead, rising majestically from the shimmering horizon, sits Alexandria, the grand jewel of the ancient world, governed by the legendary queen whose name has echoed through thousands of years of human history, Cleopatra VII. As your ship glides closer to the harbour, you feel an overwhelming sense of calm curiosity. This is not merely a city, it is a tapestry of marble, gold, papyrus, and starlight. The air carries the rich, soothing aroma of sweet frankincense, roasted coriander, dried sea salt, and blooming jasmine from the terraced gardens along the shore. Look out towards the entrance of the great harbour. Standing tall against the sky is one of the grandest wonders ever crafted by human hands, the Pharos of Alexandria. The great lighthouse towers hundreds of feet above the sea, its white limestone blocks glistening like polished alabaster in the sunlight. At its summit, a bronze mirror reflects a brilliant beacon of fire guiding sailors gently towards safe refuge. You watch as the smoke from the lighthouse rises lazily into the vast azure sky, creating soft, drifting clouds that fade softly away. The water beneath your ship becomes completely still as you enter the protected harbour. You look down into the crystalline deep, watching shadows of silver fish weave through submerged statues and ancient stone pillars. The port is alive, yet remarkably peaceful. Rowboats glide past carrying crates of sweet figs, jars of dark olive oil, and delicate silks from distant eastern lands. Sailors speak in soft melodic tones in Greek, Egyptian, Latin, and Aramaic. Alexandria is a gathering place for all of humanity, a serene sanctuary of knowledge, beauty, and quiet power. Your ship gently bumps against the smooth wooden docks of the royal port, located directly beneath the sprawling estate of the Ptolemaic kings. You step off the vessel onto the cool, polished limestone pier. Every step you take feels light, relaxed, and anchored in history. A gentle guide dressed in fine white linen garments approaches you with a welcoming smile. They bow softly and invite you to enter the royal grounds. You are an honoured guest today, invited to experience a full 24 hours within the grand royal palace of Cleopatra. As you follow your guide up the wide stone stairs leading to the palace, notice the soft murmur of the city behind you fading away. The stairs are lined with magnificent sphinxes sculpted from deep black granite. Their eyes look forward with timeless wisdom, guarding the sacred peace of the royal sanctuary. The air grows cooler as you leave the open dock and step into the shaded colonnades of the palace complex. The Palace of Alexandria is not just a single building. It is a vast, peaceful city of courtyards, quiet libraries, cascading fountains, and secluded royal chambers. Built from imported Italian marble, local limestone, and precious Egyptian porphyry, the architecture blends the sleek geometric beauty of classical Greece with the grand, mysterious elegance of ancient Egypt. Tall Ionic pillars reach toward the sky, draped with soft, sheer linen curtains that sway gently with the sea breeze. You step into the outer portico. The floor beneath your feet is a masterpiece of mosaic art, depicting serene scenes of the River Nile, flowing softly with blue lotus flowers, sleeping hippos, and delicate papyrus reeds. The cool marble beneath your sandals relaxes your tired feet. Your guide leads you into a grand vestibule where a large bronze basin sits filled with clear, perfumed water. Floating on the surface are fresh blue lotus blossoms, their delicate petals releasing a soothing, clean scent that instantly settles your mind. You are invited to dip your hands into the cool water. The water washes away the dust of your long journey, leaving your skin refreshed and calm. An attendant hands you a soft, clean towel woven from pure Egyptian cotton, drying your hands with slow, rhythmic care. As you dry your hands, you look around the room. The walls are painted with vibrant frescoes depicting peaceful countryside scenes and quiet, starry nights over the Nile. Tall, slender clay jars line the walls, burning pellets of kifi, the famous ancient Egyptian incense. The aroma is a rich, comforting blend of honey, wine, myrrh, broom plant, and sweet rush. Breathing it in feels deeply relaxing. Your lungs expand warmly with the sweet herbal smoke, releasing any lingering tension in your shoulders, your neck, and your mind. You walk further into the heart of the royal estate. We are entering the inner gardens, a secluded paradise built specifically for the Queen's quiet contemplation. The garden is surrounded by high, whitewashed stone walls that keep out the heat and noise of the bustling city outside. Listen closely to the sound of the garden. A steady, rhythmic stream of water trickles from a stone fountain shaped like the sacred ibis bird. The sound of water dripping into the clear pool is slow, steady, and mesmerizing. Dripping, splashing, flowing gently. Around the pool, tall date palms, leafy fig trees, and pomegranate branches cast soft dancing shadows across the ground. Bright red and orange blossoms hang lightly from the branches. Small birds with colourful feathers rest quietly in the branches, chirping soft, soothing melodies that drift through the warm, still air. You sit down on a carved wooden bench smoothed by decades of use. The wood feels cool and reassuring against your back. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the gentle rustle of palm leaves overhead as a gentle breeze drifts in from the harbour. Every breath you take in this quiet garden brings you deeper into a state of total peace. After a few peaceful moments in the garden, your guide softly whispers that the Queen is preparing to receive guests in the grand reception hall, and you're invited to observe from the comfortable shaded alcoves reserved for honoured travellers. You stand up, feeling completely relaxed and light on your feet. You follow the stone path lined with sweet-smelling mint and chamomile herbs. With every step, you sink deeper into this enchanting world of ancient luxury, timeless knowledge, and gentle, quiet calm. As you step out of the garden path, you find yourself at the entrance of the great marble corridor, which leads directly into the central royal court. The massive bronze doors stand wide open, revealing a hall of breathtaking scale and soothing beauty. Tall fluted columns support a high ceiling painted to resemble the night sky, complete with soft golden stars against a deep indigo backdrop. You take a seat in a plush, comfortable chair lined with soft goose feather cushions covered in fine indigo silk. From this peaceful vantage point, you can take in the full splendour of Cleopatra's world without any rush or pressure. You're safe, warm, and entirely comfortable, watching history unfold before your eyes like a peaceful waking dream. Sitting comfortably upon your cushioned seat in the shaded alcove, you let your eyes wander across the magnificent reception hall. The high ceiling, painted in shades of deep lapis lazuli and dusted with leaf gold to mimic a clear night sky, creates an atmosphere of infinite stillness. The cool marble beneath you seems to absorb the remaining warmth of the afternoon, keeping the air inside the grand court fresh, crisp, and remarkably soothing. Before you stretches the central hall of the Ptolemaic court. Magnificent floor-to-ceiling tapestries woven from rich dyed wool and silver threads hang between the towering columns. They gently sway whenever a whisper of the sea breeze drifts through the high archways, whispering soft rhythmic patterns against the smooth stone walls. In the centre of the hall, seated upon a modest yet beautifully crafted throne of dark ebony, inlaid with ivory and delicate gold leaf, is Queen Cleopatra herself. She does not look like a distant, intimidating ruler from ancient myth. Instead, her presence fills the room with a calm, intellectual grace. She wears a simple, perfectly draped gown of pure white Egyptian linen, fastened at her shoulder with a modest golden brooch shaped like the sacred scarab beetle. Around her neck rests a thin, elegant collar made of soft green emeralds harvested from the royal mines in the eastern desert. As you watch, ambassadors from distant empires step forward to speak with her. There are envoys from Rome wearing heavy woolen togas, scholars from Athens carrying scrolled parchments, and traders from Persia wrapped in vibrant silk robes. What strikes you most is her voice. Cleopatra does not speak with a harsh or demanding tone. Her voice is famously low, soft and warm, like a gentle musical instrument played in a quiet room. Without relying on interpreters, she effortlessly shifts from Greek to Egyptian, from Latin to Aramaic, and then to Hebrew and Persian. Each word she speaks carries a smooth melodic cadence, lulling the entire room into attentive silence. Listen to the serene rhythm of her speech as she resolves disputes, negotiates grain prices for her people, and signs imperial decrees with a steady, relaxed stroke of her reed pen. There is no tension in this court, only the quiet, organised flow of an administrative mind operating at total ease. After the last envoy bows respectfully and retires from the hall, Cleopatra turns her attention to a small group of scholars waiting near the back wall. These are the chief librarians and astronomers from the Great Library of Alexandria. She stands up gracefully, stepping down from the low platform, and walks with slow, measured steps toward a long wooden table laid out with maps, brass astrolabes, and ancient scrolls. The sound of her sandals lightly tapping against the mosaic floor is slow, rhythmic, and soothing. You watch as she leans over a vast map of the stars drawn on thick, textured papyrus. The scholars speak in low, respectful whispers, pointing out the subtle movements of constellations across the night sky. Cleopatra listens intently, nodding softly, her calm expression reflecting a deep, lifelong love for science, philosophy, and learning. An attendant quietly walks across the hall carrying a tray made of silver. On it rests a clear crystal pitcher filled with cold water, infused with crushed mint leaves and slices of sweet Egyptian lemons, along with small alabaster bowls containing fresh dates, figs, and toasted almonds. The attendant offers the tray to you in your comfortable alcove. You reach out and take a small, cool cup of mint-infused water. As you take a slow sip, the refreshing taste coats your throat, cooling you from the inside out. The sweet, herbal flavour relaxes your mind even further, making you feel completely cared for and entirely at peace within these royal walls. As the sun begins its slow, quiet descent toward the western horizon outside, the bright natural light within the hall gently softens. Long, warm amber shadows stretch across the mosaic floor. Attendants step forward with long wooden poles tipped with small wax candles, lighting the bronze oil lamps mounted on the stone pillars. One by one, soft flickers of warm gold light illuminate the room, casting gentle, flickering shadows that dance lazily across the painted frescoes. The air fills once more with the comforting scent of burning beeswax and sweet frankincense, creating an atmosphere that feels increasingly cosy, warm, and restful. Cleopatra quietly dismisses her scholars with a warm smile and a gentle nod of her head. She pauses near the centre of the room, turning her gaze toward the high windows that look out over the great harbour. Outside, the Mediterranean Sea has turned into a shimmering liquid sheet of violet and rose, reflecting the breathtaking colours of the Egyptian sunset. She closes her eyes for a moment, enjoying the peace of the quiet room, taking a deep, quiet breath before retreating toward her private quarters. You feel an overwhelming sense of stillness settle over the entire court. The busyness of the day has come to a complete beautiful end. The palace is slowly transitioning into its evening rest, and you are perfectly positioned to follow along into the quiet sanctuary of the night. Your guide softly gestures for you to rise from your comfortable seat. You stand, feeling completely relaxed and effortlessly moving through the quiet hall. The palace is settling into a serene evening calm. You follow the soft, padded path leading out of the main court and into a secluded, covered walkway paved with white alabaster. Every step you take along this quiet corridor brings a deeper sense of peace. The air here is noticeably cooler, scented with the clean, soothing aroma of fresh papyrus and aged cedarwood. You're entering the private royal wing of the Great Library, connected directly to Cleopatra's personal living quarters. As you step through the tall archway, you find yourself in a spacious circular room designed entirely for quiet study and contemplation. High niches line the curved walls from floor to ceiling, filled with thousands of smooth wooden scrolls held inside fitted leather cases. Each scroll contains centuries of human thought, mathematics, poetry, and philosophy, gathered from every corner of the world. In the centre of the room stands a large writing table carved from a single slab of fragrant dark cedarwood. On the table sits a flickering bronze oil lamp, casting a soft, warm pool of light across a sheet of crisp, hand-pressed papyrus. Cleopatra sits quietly at the table, wrapped in a soft shawl of fine, deep indigo wool to ward off the cooling sea breeze. She holds a thin reed pen in her hand, dipping it gently into a small bowl of dark, natural ink made from soot and acacia gum. Watch the effortless, fluid movement of her hand as she writes. The rhythmic scratch of the reed pen against the textured papyrus is incredibly gentle and repetitive, a soft, steady sound that acts like a peaceful lullaby for your mind. Scratch, pause, dip, scratch. It is the soothing cadence of pure focus and quiet creation. She's working on her own writings, translating ancient texts, recording herbal medicines, and drafting treaties with meticulous care. In this quiet sanctuary, away from political pressure and the demands of ruling an empire, she is simply a lover of wisdom resting in the quiet company of books. You move softly to a broad, cushioned daybed situated near a high archway that opens onto a private stone balcony. The daybed is layered with supple linen sheets and soft cushions filled with dried lavender and sweet clover. As you rest back into the plush cushions, your body sinks into total comfort. Your muscles feel completely relaxed, heavy and warm. Look out through the balcony archway. The sky outside has turned from violet into a vast, velvety dark indigo, sprinkled with thousands of brilliant, unblinking stars. The bright moon hangs suspended over the Mediterranean Sea, casting a long, shimmering ribbon of silver light across the dark, tranquil water. Below the balcony, the gentle sound of the tide washing against the base of the palace walls provides a continuous, hypnotic rhythm. The waves roll in slowly, splash softly against the stone, and draw back smoothly into the deep sea, in and out, in and out. The steady sound of the sea merges seamlessly with the soft scratching of Cleopatra's reed pen and the faint rustle of turning papyrus scrolls. Every sound in this quiet room feels intentionally crafted to ease your mind, releasing every last drop of tension from your body. An attendant quietly enters the room with a silver burner resting on a tall stand. They add a fresh piece of Kifi incense to the glowing embers. A thin, delicate ribbon of sweet smoke curls lazily into the warm air. The scent carries notes of sweet honey, calming frankincense, dark resin, and soothing myrrh. It drifts gently across the room, wrapping you in an invisible blanket of complete comfort and safety. Cleopatra pauses her writing. She slowly sets down her reed pen, takes a deep breath, and leans back in her chair. She looks out toward the starry horizon, letting the quiet peace of the midnight hour wash over her. You feel a profound sense of tranquility surrounding you. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do, and no worries left to carry. You are completely safe, cocooned within the ancient, peaceful walls of this timeless sanctuary. Cleopatra rises gracefully from her study table. With a quiet nod of appreciation toward the silent room of knowledge, she steps toward the balcony. She gestures for you to follow her into the private night gardens of the royal promontory, a secluded peninsula known as Lochias, reaching out gently into the dark waters of the harbour. You stand up effortlessly, your body feeling heavy, warm, and deeply relaxed. Every movement feels slow and peaceful, as if you are moving through a calm, comforting dream. You follow the Queen down a gentle flight of marble stairs leading directly into the heart of the night garden. The cool midnight air touches your skin with a soft, soothing touch, bringing with it the crisp mist of the sea mixed with the sweet, heavy perfume of flowers that bloom only under the cover of darkness. Look around this moonlit sanctuary. The stone pathways are crafted from polished, pale alabaster that softly catches and reflects the white glow of the full moon above. On either side of the path, night-blooming jasmine blossoms spill over low-carved walls, their delicate star-shaped white flowers glowing like tiny constellations scattered across the dark foliage. As you walk slowly behind the Queen, your feet make no sound against the smooth stone. The garden is alive with a gentle, hypnotic harmony. Listen to the rhythmic song of the night. High up in the branches of ancient sycamore and cypress trees, small nightingales sing soft silver notes that drift effortlessly through the still air. Below them, a low steady murmur rises from a series of gentle stone cascading water features. Water trickles down carved stone steps, falling into broad marble basins below. Tinkle, splash, drip, stream. The sound is continuous, steady, and infinitely calming. It wraps around your mind like a warm velvet blanket, smoothing away any lingering thoughts, worries, or tension. Cleopatra pauses beside a large circular pool surrounded by blue night lotus flowers. The lotus blossoms have folded into tight, elegant buds for the evening, resting peacefully on top of large, flat green pads that float on the water's surface. She reaches out her hand, letting her fingers trail gently through the clear, cool water. Small ripples spread outward in slow, perfect circles, catching the silver light of the moon. She turns to a small marble pavilion standing in the centre of the garden. Inside, two musicians sit cross-legged on plush velvet cushions. One holds a delicate wooden harp with silver strings. The other holds a soft, double-reed flute carved from polished bone. As Cleopatra sits down upon a low-cushioned lounge inside the pavilion, the musicians begin to play. The music is not loud or sudden. It is the softest, most tender melody imaginable. A lullaby played for the ancient gods and the sleeping queen. The harp notes drop softly like gentle rainwater falling onto broad leaves. Pluck, drift, fade. The flute plays a warm, low tone that lingers in the air like a soft whisper. You sink onto a soft daybed beside the entrance of the pavilion. The cushions are wrapped in dark indigo silk, smelling softly of sweet clover and dried rose petals. You lean your head back, closing your eyes, and let the soothing music wash completely over you. With every low note of the flute, your eyelids grow heavier. With every rhythmic stroke of the harp, your body sinks deeper and deeper into total unwinding rest. The gentle sea breeze whispers through the leaves of the palm trees overhead. The scent of jasmine and frankincense rests gently upon the calm air. The night is quiet, still, and completely safe. You are surrounded by centuries of ancient peace, held safely within the quiet walls of Cleopatra's private garden, as the deep hours of the night roll slowly by. The soft melody of the harp and flute slowly fades into a lingering, peaceful hush. Cleopatra stands up quietly from her seat in the pavilion. With a gentle gesture, she bids you to follow her deeper into the most private heart of the royal quarters, the sacred bedchamber. You rise slowly, your limbs feeling heavy, warm, and wonderfully weightless. Walking behind the Queen, you move through a quiet, arched arcade made of pink granite stone. The moonlight casts long, soft shadows that stretch across the polished floor, guiding your steps in a slow, tranquil rhythm. As you step across the threshold into the inner bedchamber, an immediate feeling of safety, warmth, and quiet luxury surrounds you. The room is vast yet deeply intimate. The walls are wrapped in thick, hand-woven tapestries of deep crimson and gold, absorbing all outside sound and creating a cocoon of absolute silence. High above, the ceiling features intricate wood carvings painted with subtle gold leaf, catching the faint, flickering glow of small alabaster lamps placed in the corners of the room. In the centre of the bedchamber stands a grand royal bed, masterfully carved from sweet-smelling cedarwood brought from the mountains of Lebanon. The bed is piled high with mattresses made from soft goose down and draped in layers of the finest Egyptian linen, white as pristine snow and silky smooth to the touch. Near the window, a small brazier burns softly, releasing a gentle stream of warm air infused with blue lotus resin and sweet cedar oil. The scent is rich, earthy, and infinitely soothing. It fills your lungs, calming your breathing and putting your mind at complete rest. Cleopatra settles onto a luxurious lounge near the open balcony, resting her head against soft velvet pillows. Outside the curtained archway, the city of Alexandria is fast asleep. The great lighthouse of Pharos continues its silent duty in the distance, casting its warm, protective glow across the dark, resting waters of the harbour. Listen to the peaceful sounds of the midnight hour. A gentle, cool breeze rustles the soft linen curtains hanging around the bed, making a sound like a quiet, rhythmic breath. Swish, pause, rest. Far below, the soft, distant murmur of the sea laps gently against the foundation stones of the palace, rolling in, falling back, rolling in, falling back. Everything in this sacred space is designed to lead you toward deep, undisturbed slumber. There are no demands here, no ancient politics, no passage of time, only the gentle, eternal quiet of an Egyptian night. You rest upon a comfortable plush lounge beside the window. The soft fabric wraps around you like a warm embrace. Your eyelids feel incredibly heavy, drooping with every slow, easy breath you take. Your mind feels light, calm, and free of all thoughts. As Queen Cleopatra closes her eyes and drift into peaceful rest, the entire royal palace seems to sink into a deep, harmonious quiet. The flickering lamps grow dim, casting soft, warm shadows that dance lazily across the room. You're completely safe. You're deeply relaxed. You're drifting smoothly into a quiet, restorative sleep within the eternal walls of the royal palace. The deep indigo of the night sky slowly, almost imperceptibly, begins to soften into a gentle shade of mauve and lavender. The higher stars overhead linger like faint silver specks before dissolving into the quiet approach of a new day. Outside the heavy linen draperies of the royal bedchamber, the cool morning mist settles softly over the sleeping waters of the great harbour. Within the sacred chamber, the air is perfectly still, wrapped in a peaceful, crisp cool. The gentle scent of cedarwood, dried lavender, and lingering Kai-Fi incense remain suspended in the warm atmosphere, keeping the room grounded in absolute calm. Cleopatra stirs gently, waking with the quiet grace that defined her every movement throughout the preceding day. There is no rush to her morning, no sudden commotion. The transition from sleep to wakefulness in the royal household is treated as a sacred art, handled with slow, rhythmic precision. A small team of trusted attendants steps silently into the room through a side doorway. Their feet make no sound upon the thick woven carpets that line the floor. They move with effortless synchrony, carrying small copper pitchers of warm water, fresh linen towels, and delicate crystal vials containing perfumed oils. Notice the soothing sounds of the morning ritual unfolding around you. The soft, rhythmic pour of warm water cascading from a long-necked pitcher into a polished silver basin. Stream, splash, trickle. The faint, crisp rustle of clean linen as it is unfolded and draped gently over chairs. The quiet, rhythmic grinding of fresh almond paste and crushed rose petals in a smooth stone mortar. Cleopatra steps down from her bed, her sandals lightly touching the cool mosaic floor. She walks toward a small vanity carved from white marble, where a circular mirror made of polished bronze rests on a stand. She sits down quietly, allowing her attendants to braid her dark hair with slow, repetitive strokes of a wooden comb. The sound of the wooden comb drawing through long hair is rhythmic and mesmerizing. Slide, pull, rest. Over and over, a hypnotic motion that settles your mind even deeper into a state of total unbothered peace. While her attendants care for her hair, Cleopatra picks up a small alabaster bottle filled with oil of frankincense and lotus. She applies a single drop to her wrists and gently rubs them together. The sweet, resinous aroma blossoms into the cool air, refreshing the room with a clean, delicate warmth. You sit comfortably in your plush lounge, feeling completely content simply watching the peaceful morning routine of the ancient world's most famous monarch. There is a quiet dignity in every small action. Through the tall archways of the balcony, the first golden rays of the morning sun begin to crown the peak of the Pharos lighthouse. The brilliant white limestone of the massive tower reflects the sunrise, casting a soft, warm glow across the water and into the high windows of the palace. The harbour below slowly begins to awaken. A far-off fisherman gently casts his net into the calm waters. The wooden oars of a single patrol boat dip silently into the sea. Yet up here, on the high promontory of the royal estate, the world remains suspended in an atmosphere of utter serenity. An attendant approaches you carrying a small tray of beaten gold. On it rests a clear glass cup filled with warm water, mixed with a spoonful of sweet mountain honey and a dash of refreshing pomegranate juice. You take the glass, feeling its soothing warmth against your hands. As you take a slow, small sip, the natural sweetness warms your chest, relaxing every remaining knot of tension in your body. Cleopatra turns toward you, offering a gentle, quiet smile of farewell. Her day of governing, studying, and guiding an empire will soon begin again. But in this lingering moment of quiet dawn, all is peaceful, harmonious, and still. With the sun now fully risen over the blue expanse of the Mediterranean, the light inside the palace shifts from soft gold to a radiant clean white. The morning mist over the great harbour gently dissipates, revealing rows of docked merchant ships gently swaying against the stone piers. Cleopatra, now dressed in her formal morning attire, a pleated white linen robe trimmed with subtle golden thread, steps out of her private quarters and walks down the grand hall of columns. You follow alongside her, your steps light and completely effortless. The high marble pillars surrounding you act like a natural cooling system, catching the fresh breeze blowing in off the sea and channeling it through the long, majestic corridors. Every column is etched with intricate hieroglyphics and painted with natural pigments: deep lapis blue, warm ochre yellow, and soothing malachite green. As you walk past them, the light filtering through the open arches creates a rhythmic pattern of soft shadow and bright sunlight on the polished floor beneath your feet. Step, glide, pause. The sound of your sandals against the cool stone creates a slow, steady beat that keeps your mind resting in a state of tranquil focus. At the end of the long hall, you reach the council chamber. Unlike the grand reception hall from yesterday afternoon, this room is smaller, quieter, and designed for thoughtful discussion. A long oval table carved from dark olive wood sits in the middle of the room. Soft leather-cushioned chairs are arranged neatly around it. Cleopatra takes her seat at the head of the table. Surrounding her are her chief advisors, the Chancellor of the Royal Treasury, the Master of Agriculture, and the Overseer of the grain stores. They carry small rectangular wooden tablets coated in smooth black wax, using thin metal styluses to trace numbers and notes into the surface. Listen to the gentle, hypnotic sound of the morning council, the soft, rhythmic scraping of metal styluses across smooth wax. Scratch, slide, pause. The low, calm voices of the advisors speaking in hushed, respectful tones as they report on the year's nilometer readings, the ancient gauges along the River Nile that measure the life-giving annual floods. Cleopatra listens with full, quiet attention. She asks questions in her warm, low voice, making decisions that will ensure her people are fed, trade flows smoothly, and peace is maintained throughout the land. There is no stress in her voice, no raised tones or hurried motions. Every decision is made with slow, deliberate clarity. An attendant quietly steps into the room carrying a low wooden stand. On top rests a large bronze bowl filled with ice, brought down from the mountain peaks of Asia Minor, wrapped tightly in straw to keep it frozen. As the air in the room passes over the ice, a faint, cool vapour drifts across the floor, lowering the temperature and keeping the room incredibly fresh and comfortable. You lean back into a deep plush chair lined with soft linen cushions set along the wall. The cool air wraps gently around your ankles. Your breathing remains deep, slow, and steady. Inhale the clean, cool air. Exhale all remaining tension. Outside the council chamber windows, you can hear the faint, distant sound of the city coming alive. The soft cries of gulls gliding over the harbour, the gentle rustle of palm trees in the breeze, and the rhythmic lap of waves against the seawall below. All these sounds weave together into a soothing, continuous backdrop of ancient life, a gentle symphony of order, beauty, and quiet purpose. Cleopatra concludes the morning session with a soft nod of her head. The advisors bow respectfully, collect their wax tablets, and quietly withdraw from the room. The Queen remains seated for a few moments, taking a calm, quiet breath, resting her hands against the smooth wood of the table before preparing for the midday hours. As the sun reaches its zenith directly over the city, the Mediterranean sky turns a brilliant, intense shade of azure. The high noon warmth settles over Alexandria, but within the shaded stone thickets of the royal palace, the air remains pleasantly temperate, preserved by thick limestone walls and clever architectural design. Cleopatra rises from the council table and leads the way toward the subterranean levels of the palace complex, where the famous royal baths of Lochias are situated. You follow her down a gentle, wide staircase crafted from smooth pink granite. With each step down, the temperature drops slightly, creating an inviting, refreshing haven from the midday heat. The walls here are lined with magnificent blue-green tiles that mimic the deep waters of the Nile, gleaming under the soft glow of small oil lamps set into stone niches. At the bottom of the stairs, you enter a vast dome-roofed hall filled with the gentle rhythmic echo of trickling water. In the centre of the hall lies a large circular bath cut directly into the natural bedrock. The bath is fed by a complex system of aqueducts that channel fresh water directly from the canopic branch of the Nile, filtered through layers of fine sand and crushed charcoal until it shines with crystal clarity. Around the edge of the pool, steam rises lazily from small copper heating vents, carrying with it the fragrant essences of chamomile, crushed eucalyptus leaves, and pure rose water. Listen to the calm, acoustic environment of the bathhouse, the steady, gentle splash of water flowing into the main pool through a carved lion head fountain. Gurgle, trickle, splash. The subtle, echoing drips that fall from the high vaulted ceiling back into the quiet waters below. Every sound is magnified into a slow, resonant note that lulls the mind into complete, meditative stillness. Cleopatra steps down into the warm, clear water. The water wraps around her gracefully, washing away the fatigue of the morning's governance. Her attendants stand quietly along the marble platform, ready with soft sponges gathered from the deep beds of the Aegean Sea, and jars of fine, cold-pressed olive oil infused with lavender. An attendant offers you a comfortable seat on a wide alabaster bench lining the hall. The stone feels pleasantly cool against your body, offering a wonderful contrast to the gentle, warm steam drifting through the room. You sit back, closing your eyes, and inhale deeply. Inhale the sweet scent of warm rosewater and eucalyptus. Exhale, releasing every trace of lingering heaviness in your body. Your limbs feel soft, heavy, and completely at ease. The gentle, continuous sound of moving water acts like a peaceful mantle, covering your thoughts and clearing away every distraction. An attendant sets down a tray beside your bench. On it rests a crystal glass filled with chilled almond milk sweetened with wild honey and a small pinch of crushed cardamom. You take a slow, gentle sip. The smooth, creamy liquid cools your throat and fills you with a comforting sense of nourishment and peace. Cleopatra rests her arms against the smooth marble edge of the pool, leaning her head back with her eyes closed, completely surrendering to the relaxing warmth of the bath. Time seems to lose all meaning in this peaceful underground sanctuary. Minutes drift by like soft ripples on the surface of the pool. There is no urgency, no schedule to keep, and nowhere else in the world you need to be. You are completely safe, deeply rested, and wrapped in the eternal calm of Cleopatra's private world. As the midday sun begins its slow descent, shifting the bright white light into a soft amber tone, Cleopatra emerges from the soothing sanctuary of the baths. Refreshed and serene, she glides up the cool stone stairs leading toward the seaside banqueting pavilion. You follow her along a sheltered colonnade draped with cascading purple bougainvillea and sweet-smelling climbing jasmine. The gentle sea breeze picks up once more, rustling through the flowers and blowing a light, refreshing spray from the harbour across the stone walkway. The banqueting pavilion is an open-air marble structure built directly over the rocky cliffs of the promontory. High archways frame breathtaking views of the vast Mediterranean Sea stretching endlessly to the horizon. Soft, sheer curtains made of fine Egyptian linen hang between the pillars, billowing lazily with every wave of the wind. Inside, low-carved couches wrapped in plush blue velvet and piled high with silk cushions are arranged around a low central table made of polished cedar. You take your place on one of the comfortable couches. The cushions contour perfectly around your body, supporting your back, shoulders, and legs in complete effortless comfort. You feel completely relaxed, watching the soft sunlight flicker across the mosaic floor. Cleopatra reclines gracefully on the central couch. Unlike formal state dinners filled with loud entertainment and heavy speeches, this afternoon gathering is a quiet, intimate affair dedicated to refined conversation, poetry, and gentle rest. Attendants quietly enter carrying silver trays bearing a modest afternoon feast. Notice the vibrant colours and scents of the delicate offerings placed before you. Plump, dark purple figs glistening with sweet nectar, slices of fresh, juicy pomegranates glowing like small rubies, crisp flatbreads served alongside small clay pots of rich sesame tahini and golden olive oil. A bowl of sweet green grapes, cool and firm to the touch. An attendant pours a small cup of light, diluted wine infused with dried rose petals and sweet spices into a slender crystal glass. You pick up the glass and take a slow, deliberate sip. The subtle floral sweetness spreads across your palate, bringing a feeling of pure satisfaction and peaceful calm. Near the corner of the pavilion, a young poet steps forward holding a small parchment scroll. He speaks in a soft, resonant voice, reciting tranquil verses of ancient Greek poetry, celebrating the quiet beauty of nature, the timeless flow of the sea, and the peace of a contented mind. Listen to the soothing cadence of his recitation. His voice rises and falls like the rhythmic rolling of gentle tide against the shore below. Flowing words, pause, gentle cadence, rest. The sound of his voice merges seamlessly with the soft rustle of the linen curtains, the quiet clink of crystal glasses, and the rhythmic, endless sound of waves crashing against the rocks far below. In and out, in and out. Cleopatra listens with her eyes half closed, a soft, peaceful expression resting upon her face. She nibbles slowly on a single fig, completely attuned to the gentle harmony of the moment. The warm afternoon sun paints the pavilion in shades of rich honey and soft gold. The air is warm, fragrant, and completely still. Every breath you take in this coastal pavilion washes away any remaining thoughts of the outside world, immersing you deeper and deeper into a state of total, undisturbed tranquility. As the golden amber of the late afternoon gently softens into the warm violet hues of early dusk, the air over the royal promontory grows pleasantly cool. The heavy heat of the day lifts completely, replaced by a fresh, revitalizing breeze that drifts off the open waters of the Mediterranean. Cleopatra rises softly from her cushioned lounge in the banqueting pavilion. She wraps a light shawl of fine, translucent silk around her shoulders, its deep violet shade reflecting the changing colours of the twilight sky. With a quiet, welcoming glance, she invites you to join her for a peaceful stroll along the royal promenade, a private stone walkway carved along the edge of the palace cliffs. You stand up slowly, feeling completely at ease. Your body feels light, your mind completely unhurried. Every step you take behind the Queen along the wide, polished stone path is smooth and rhythmic. The promenade is lined with tall, elegant statues of past Ptolemaic kings and queens, carved from dark granite and sleek white marble. In the fading light, their quiet silhouettes stand like eternal guardians watching over the sea. Beside the path, low terraced gardens of sweet-smelling lavender, mint, and crushed thyme release their calming herbal oils into the cool evening air with every passing breeze. Look out toward the harbour as twilight settles over Alexandria. The vast sea below has transformed into a calm, smooth sheet of deep indigo and rose. The hundreds of trading ships anchored in the bay have lit their evening lanterns. Tiny points of warm golden light flicker across the water like stars fallen from the sky, swaying gently in rhythm with the tide. Listen to the peaceful sounds of the twilight hour, the slow, majestic swelling of the tide as it rolls against the base of the cliffs below. Swell, splash, retreat. The gentle rhythmic rustle of the sea oats and tall grasses growing along the stone border. The distant soft chime of a temple bell ringing from the great Serapeum in the heart of the city, signalling the end of the day's labour and the start of evening prayers. Cleopatra pauses at a curved stone balcony, projecting out over the water. She rests her hands against the smooth, cool balustrade, looking out toward the horizon where the dark water meets the violet sky. In this moment of transition between day and night, there are no empire-defining decisions to be made, no scholars to instruct, and no foreign envoys to receive. She stands simply as a human being in complete harmony with her surroundings, breathing in the quiet beauty of the world. She turns her head slightly and speaks in a low, gentle voice, sharing thoughts on the eternal nature of the stars, the constant movement of the sea, and how true strength comes from knowing how to cultivate quiet inner peace amidst the storms of life. Her voice is like a comforting murmur, a soothing rhythm that settles deep into your consciousness. You don't need to analyse her words. You simply let the warm, melodic sound of her voice wash over you, relaxing your mind even further. An attendant steps forward with a long taper, lighting the alabaster torches that line the promenade. Small, controlled flames flicker into life, casting a warm, flickering glow across the stone path and painting the ancient statues in gentle shadow and light. The air carries the comforting scent of burning beeswax, sweet sea salt, and blooming night jasmine. Every breath you draw in is deep, restoring, and completely soothing. You take a deep breath, letting your shoulders drop completely as you look out at the dark, serene expanse of the sea. You're completely safe. You are wrapped in timeless beauty, guided gently into the absolute calm of the night ahead. Leaving the breezy promenade behind, Cleopatra leads you along a sheltered stone walkway into the quiet northern courtyard of the Museum, the famous institution of higher learning connected directly to the royal grounds. The night has now fallen completely. The sky above is a vast velvety expanse of pure indigo, studded with countless brilliant stars that shine with an unblinking, serene clarity. You walk through a high arched door into the open-air astronomical observatory. The room is circular, open to the night sky, with thick white limestone walls that block out any breeze, leaving the air inside remarkably warm, still and calm. In the centre of the court stands a series of magnificent ancient astronomical instruments. Large bronze armillary spheres, polished stone sundials awaiting tomorrow's light, and delicate sighting rods are positioned with mathematical precision. Cleopatra walks slowly toward a grand armillary sphere set upon a dark basalt pedestal. Her fingers lightly touch the cool, smooth bronze rings that represent the paths of the sun, the moon, and the known planets. As she gently turns one of the inner rings, a faint, rhythmic, metallic whisper echoes softly through the silent court. Clink, spin, rest. The sound is delicate and rhythmic, like the steady ticking of an ancient cosmic clock. A senior astronomer steps out from the shadows of the colonnade, bowing softly. He carries a long papyrus chart drawn with rich indigo ink and silver ink, detailing the motion of the constellation Sirius, the sacred star of Isis, as it ascends into the southern sky. Cleopatra steps closer to the chart. The astronomer speaks in a quiet, hypnotic voice, explaining how the stars move in eternal, predictable cycles, bringing the Nile floods, changing the seasons, and keeping the cosmos in perfect, balanced order. Listen to the calm, steady rhythm of his voice as he points out the constellations. His voice is low and measured, sounding almost like a peaceful chant, tracing the stars, following the silver path, watching the cosmic tide. You sink onto a soft stone bench covered with plush sheepskin fleeces. The bench is built into the warm curve of the wall, allowing you to lean your head back comfortably and look straight up into the endless starry sky. As you gaze at the stars shining directly above you, a deep sense of quiet wonder fills your mind. The vastness of the cosmos makes all daily worries and tiny anxieties fade into utter insignificance. You feel small, safe, and completely grounded within the massive, peaceful architecture of the ancient universe. An attendant quietly approaches carrying a small silver tray with a warm clay mug. Inside is a soothing infusion of dried chamomile flowers, orange blossom, and a drop of sweet clover honey. You accept the mug, feeling its pleasant warmth against your hands. You take a slow, gentle sip. The fragrant warm tea relaxes your throat and spreads a deep, cozy warmth throughout your chest. Inhale the delicate scent of chamomile and honey. Exhale, releasing all remaining tension from your mind. Cleopatra looks up from the star chart and gazes into the same infinite night sky above. Her face is illuminated by the soft light of a single bronze oil lamp resting nearby. Her expression is one of absolute serenity and quiet understanding. The air in the observatory is warm, still, and completely safe. Surrounded by thousands of years of human wisdom and the timeless light of the stars, you feel yourself drifting deeper and deeper into a peaceful state of complete, unwinding rest. Step slowly out of the quiet observatory and follow Cleopatra along the silent moonlit corridors that lead toward the private summer hall. The midnight hour has arrived, bringing with it a profound stillness that wraps the entire royal palace in a blanket of peaceful silence. The private summer hall is an architectural marvel designed for the deepest hours of the night. It is a tall, circular room with high marble walls that curve upward into a wide open dome. Through the centre of the dome, the bright pale moon shines down like a natural spotlight, illuminating a pristine pool of dark water set into the centre of the floor. Around the water, low-carved tables of dark teak wood are set with shimmering silver, alabaster bowls, and tall crystal goblets. Plush floor cushions wrapped in dark purple silk invite you to sit down and rest your tired body. You sink onto one of the comfortable cushions, feeling the soft velvet support your back and legs. Every muscle in your body feels heavy, warm, and deeply relaxed. You're safe here, floating in a sea of soft light and soothing silence. This is not a grand, noisy feast with loud music and theatrical performances. It is a quiet midnight supper, a time for gentle nourish, quiet reflection, and simple comfort before returning to sleep. Attendants dressed in immaculate white linen move through the hall like silent shadows, placing small, delicate dishes upon the wooden tables. Notice the quiet sensory details of the midnight meal spread out before you. Small golden pastries filled with crushed walnuts, cinnamon, and wild honey resting on polished silver plates. Cold slices of crisp melon dripping with sweet nectar served in cool alabaster bowls. A plate of dark pitted olives marinating in rich olive oil infused with garlic and fresh oregano. Thin, soft flatbreads warm from the stone ovens, smelling faintly of toasted sesame seeds. Cleopatra reclines gracefully on a low couch across from you, taking a single golden pastry and enjoying it with slow, quiet pleasure. She pours a small amount of cool water into a silver goblet, followed by a dark, fragrant splash of red wine made from the sweet grapes of the coastal vineyards. An attendant offers a matching goblet to you. You reach out, your hands feeling completely relaxed, and take a small, soothing sip. The deep, fruity flavour warms your palate and settles gently into your stomach, filling you with a deep sense of contentment and cosy satisfaction. Listen to the peaceful sounds echoing softly within the domed hall, the gentle, rhythmic drop of water falling from the centre of the high ceiling into the quiet pool below. Drop, ripple, rest. The soft, slow rustle of silk robes as Cleopatra shifts comfortably on her couch. The faint, soothing whisper of the sea breeze passing across the open dome overhead. Everything about this room is designed to calm your nervous system, slowing your pulse and easing your breathing into a quiet, rhythmic pattern. Inhale slowly, feeling the peaceful warmth of the hall. Exhale gently, releasing every last lingering thought. Cleopatra sets down her goblet with a soft metallic clink against the wooden table. She looks at you with a calm, gentle expression, offering a silent blessing of peace and rest. The feast is complete, the night is deep, and the entire palace is ready to sink back into profound, undisturbed slumber. Cleopatra rises gracefully from her plush floor cushions in the domed hall. She turns toward a quiet, narrow passageway framed by two slender pillars of black basalt. She gives a silent, inviting nod, encouraging you to follow her into one of the palace's most hidden retreats, the private room of night scrolls. Your steps are slow, light, and almost weightless as you walk through the shadowed corridor. Your body feels completely relaxed, bathed in the comforting stillness of the late hour. You step into a small, cosy chamber lined from floor to ceiling with shelves carved from fragrant dark walnut wood. The air here is deeply grounded and warm, filled with the rich, soothing scent of aged papyrus, crushed cedar oil, dried myrrh, and old leather bindings. Unlike the vast public halls of the Museum, this intimate sanctuary holds only a select collection of the Queen's personal favourites, books of gentle philosophy, soothing ancient poetry, and descriptions of peaceful distant gardens. In the centre of the room, a low reading desk crafted from polished dark ebony rests upon a thick hand-woven rug. A single, delicate bronze lamp shaped like a lotus blossom sits on the edge of the desk. Its tiny golden flame flickers softly, casting a warm, gentle light across a pristine scroll of creamy, heavy papyrus. Cleopatra takes her seat upon a low, cushioned chair lined with soft lamb's wool. She carefully unrolls a portion of the scroll, her hands moving with rhythmic, slow grace. She begins to read aloud in a low, gentle whisper that fills the silent chamber like a soft lullaby. Listen to the calm, melodic rise and fall of her voice. Her voice is smooth, low, and reassuring, carrying a natural cadence that lulls your mind into complete, undisturbed calm. Whispering words of ancient wisdom, slow, steady, soft. She reads verses written centuries before her time, poems that speak of the timeless flow of the great river Nile, the quiet beauty of stars resting over calm fields, and the deep peace that comes when the heart rests without worry. The sound of her whispering voice blends seamlessly with the delicate, dry rustle of the papyrus as her fingers gently adjust the scroll. Rustle. Slide. Pause. You sink onto a soft daybed set against the warm wooden wall. The daybed is layered with supple linen sheets and soft cushions filled with dried lavender and crushed chamomile blossoms. As your head rests against the plush pillow, a delicate, sweet herbal aroma wraps around you, relaxing every muscle in your face, your neck, and your shoulders. You close your eyes, letting her low, rhythmic whisper wash over you like a warm wave of peace. There is no need to understand every word or hold onto any thought. You simply allow the gentle sound of her voice to carry you deeper into a state of effortless, soothing rest. Inhale the warm scent of cedar and dried lavender. Exhale slowly, letting all thoughts drift far away into the quiet night. The world outside these thick stone walls has completely faded away. The city of Alexandria, the vast Mediterranean Sea, and the great empires of the world are all wrapped in quiet sleep. In this safe, hidden library, surrounded by centuries of calm wisdom, you're entirely protected, completely rested, and floating softly toward deeper slumber. Cleopatra gently rolls the papyrus scroll closed with a soft, sliding whisper against the dark ebony desk. She rests her hands atop the smooth leather casing, allowing a long, peaceful silence to fill the small library. The single lotus lamp flickers down to a warm, low ember, casting long, lazy shadows across the rich walnut shelves. She stands up slowly, her movements as fluid and quiet as water flowing through a deep channel. She turns toward a hidden archway set deep into the stone wall, draped in heavy, dark indigo velvet that absorbs all sound from the outer corridors. With a quiet, reassuring glance, she guides you into the most sacred and peaceful space in the entire palace, the inner shrine of rest. You follow her, your steps slow, heavy, and completely weightless all at once. Your body feels completely relaxed, bathed in the comforting, cool stillness of the late-night hours. As you step through the heavy velvet curtain, you enter a room that feels entirely removed from the physical world. The air here is noticeably cooler, deeply grounded, and rich with the soothing resinous perfume of pure blue lotus oil, crushed frankincense, and aged cedar wood. The floor beneath your feet is made of polished white marble, so smooth it feels almost like liquid beneath your sandals. In the centre of the room, a low platform carved from a single slab of green malachite holds a vast bed layered with feather-down mattresses, soft goose-down quilts, and sheets woven from the finest silk like Egyptian linen. Above the bed, the ceiling curves upward into a broad dark dome painted with deep lapis lazuli pigment. Scattered across the painted sky are hundreds of delicate gold-leaf stars, arranged to match the exact alignment of the night sky above Alexandria on the night of Cleopatra's birth. Listen to the absolute silence of this inner sanctuary. The sound of the outside world, the sea, the wind, the city, is entirely absent here. The only sound is the rhythmic, slow breathing of the Queen as she settles onto the plush daybed near the corner, resting her head against soft, velvet-covered pillows. Inhale slowly, breathing in the cool, floral scent of blue lotus. Exhale gently, releasing every last thread of conscious thought. Near your bed stands a small alabaster night lamp filled with clear, fragrant oil. An attendant silently reaches out and snuffs the tiny flame, plunging the room into a soft, velvety darkness, illuminated only by the faint silver moonlight filtering down through a narrow high window slit in the thick wall. You sink back onto the wide, soft bed. The linen sheets feel cool against your skin at first, then quickly warm to match your body's comforting temperature. The soft down mattress yields beneath your weight, supporting your legs, your lower back, your shoulders, and your head in complete, total alignment. Your eyelids feel incredibly heavy, resting closed without any effort at all. Your mind feels light, vast, and quiet, like a calm sea under a silent, star-filled sky. Notice the slow, steady rhythm of your own heart. Beat, pause, beat, pause. With every beat, you sink deeper and deeper into the quiet sanctuary of the palace. The centuries melt away, leaving only this eternal moment of safety, comfort, and absolute rest. Cleopatra rests peacefully in her corner of the room, her presence offering an aura of timeless protection and deep, undisturbed peace. In the deep, sacred hours before the first whisper of light breaks across the horizon, the inner shrine of rest remains cradled in profound stillness. The cool night air holds a timeless calm, motionless and undisturbed. The rich aroma of blue lotus, sweet frankincense, and dry cedarwood hangs gently in the darkness, wrapping around your senses like a warm protective shroud. Cleopatra rests in complete stillness, her breathing slow, rhythmic, and so faint it seems to blend directly into the quiet pulse of the room. Beside her, you remain lying upon the soft down mattress, your body entirely surrendered to the deep, restoring heaviness of total relaxation. Listen closely to the subtle, almost silent rhythm of the palace as night prepares to meet the dawn. Far beyond the thick stone walls, deep beneath the bedrock of the royal estate, the Mediterranean Sea ebbs and flows in an eternal hypnotic cycle, rolling inward, washing softly, drifting back into the deep, rolling inward, washing softly, drifting back into the deep. The sound is not a noise but a slow cosmic heartbeat, soothing every nerve in your body, easing your breathing into a quiet, effortless cadence. Above your head, the gold-leaf stars painted across the lapis lazuli ceiling faintly catch the soft silver glow of the setting moon. The constellations, Orion, the sacred bark, and Sirius, seem to shimmer with a quiet, watchful grace. You feel utterly safe, anchored in a realm where time has ceased to exist, where the burdens of the modern world are completely forgotten. In this lingering hour of pre-dawn stillness, there are no empire-building thoughts, no voices, no demands, and no hurry. Every breath you draw in brings a deep, refreshing sense of peace. Every exhale carries away the final microscopic remnants of tension from your muscles. Your arms feel heavy, warm, and resting softly at your sides. Your shoulders drop completely into the softness of the linen sheets. Your mind is clear, serene, and still, like the unruffled surface of a deep, dark pool. Through the narrow high window, the silver moon slowly dips below the edge of the world, leaving the sky in a tranquil, velvety darkness. The Palace of Alexandria rests in absolute harmony, held gently between the quiet memories of yesterday and the peaceful promise of a new day. Cleopatra remains still, resting in her eternal sanctuary. The palace is silent, the sea is calm, you're completely safe, deeply rested, and wrapped in the quiet, comforting embrace of an ancient night. As the ultimate hours of the pre-dawn vigil gently dissolve, the very first subtle warmth of a brand new day begins to touch the eastern rim of Alexandria. The deep indigo sky outside the high archways transforms into a soft, glowing rose and translucent amber. Yet inside the sacred room, the deep, restorative tranquility remains completely unbroken. The palace grounds begin their quiet, harmonious awakening. High above in the terraced gardens of Lochias, small morning birds chirp in low, melodic tones, welcoming the soft light with a gentle, soothing song that drifts across the quiet courtyards. Listen to the peaceful symphony of the returning morning, the faint, distant whisper of the cool sea breeze rustling through the tall papyrus reeds in the garden fountains. Swish, pause, rest. The slow, steady pour of fresh water into the outer courtyard basins as the morning attendants begin their quiet preparations far away down the stone halls. Cleopatra opens her eyes, her gaze calm, clear, and filled with a profound, quiet serenity. She rests quietly for a moment, taking a slow, deep breath of the scented air, rich with the lingering notes of frankincense, lavender, and cool sea air, before softly sitting up. She looks toward you with a warm, peaceful expression. Her journey through the day and night within this ancient sanctuary, from the bustling harbour and grand marble halls to the quiet library and starlit observatory, has brought her and you to a state of complete, unbroken balance. You feel a deep, comforting sensation spread through your entire body. Your muscles are completely loose, your breathing is slow, steady, and effortless, and your mind feels entirely at peace. There is no rush to step back into the world. You're suspended in a timeless moment of absolute comfort, safety, and rest. The ancient royal palace of Alexandria, with all its timeless beauty, quiet wisdom, and gentle rhythms, will always remain here within your mind. A permanent sanctuary where you can return whenever you seek peace, quiet, and deep slumber. As the golden morning sun rays filter through the sheer linen curtains, casting a soft, warm glow across the room, you close your eyes once more. You let yourself sink even deeper into the plush feather bed, wrapped in the eternal quiet protection of the ancient palace, drifting effortlessly into a peaceful, unbroken, and restorative sleep. As the morning sun climbs higher into the serene Egyptian sky, casting long, pale gold geometric shadows across the white marble floors, Cleopatra rises from her moment of morning contemplation. Wrapped in a delicate white linen cloak edged with fine silver embroidery, she prepares to make her daily pilgrimage to the private shrine of Isis, nestled deep within the royal palace precinct. You rise with her, feeling completely refreshed, weightless, and anchored in deep peace. Every movement you make feels fluid and unhurried. You walk behind the Queen through an open-air peristyle garden. The morning air is crisp, pure and invigorated by the fresh spray of the nearby sea. Along the pathway, tall date palms and sweet-smelling acacia trees sway gently in the breeze. Small purple hummingbirds dart lazily between the trumpet-shaped flowers, their tiny wings creating a low, humming vibration that hums softly against the quiet morning air. At the end of the garden path stands the entrance to the inner temple of Isis. Built entirely from dark, polished basalt stone, the temple remains cool, dim, and deeply tranquil. As you cross the threshold into the cool stone sanctuary, the air changes instantly. The atmosphere is rich with the soothing, resinous scent of burning kifi and crushed myrrh. mingled with the sweet, fresh aroma of newly cut white lotus flowers floating in bronze basins around the altar. In the centre of the temple stands a magnificent statue of Isis, carved from solid black granite, holding her sacred child Horus. The dark stone is polished to a high mirror finish, catching the faint flickering light of small oil lamps resting on marble pedestals. Listen to the calm, meditative environment of the morning ritual. Cleopatra steps forward to the altar carrying a small solid gold pitcher filled with fresh water brought from the sacred headwaters of the Nile. She slowly tilts the pitcher, pouring a quiet, steady stream of water over the burning coals at the base of the altar. Sizzle, hiss, steam. A soft cloud of white, sweet-smelling steam rises lazily into the air, carrying the scent of incense and hot stone upward toward the vaulted ceiling. A high priestess standing in the shadows of the temple begins to shake a bronze sistrum, a traditional sacred rattle. The sound is not loud or jarring. It is a soft, metallic chime that vibrates at a slow, soothing frequency. Chime, rustle, whisper. The gentle sound echoes softly off the dark basalt walls, cleansing the space of all lingering thoughts and leaving behind a deep, resonant calm that fills your chest with every breath you take. Cleopatra bows her head, reciting a quiet morning prayer in ancient Egyptian, a language of low, soft vowels and gentle, breathy consonants that sound like the rustle of wind through dry grass. Inhale the warm, sacred steam of myrrh and frankincense. Exhale, letting your mind rest entirely in the quiet sanctuary of the temple. You take a seat upon a smooth stone bench lining the cool basalt wall. The dark stone absorbs any remaining warmth, keeping your body feeling cool, comfortable, and thoroughly relaxed. As Cleopatra finishes her morning offerings, a profound sense of stillness settles over the entire temple. The morning light filtering through the high, clerestory windows creates brilliant beams of dusty gold that illuminate the rising steam. Everything in this sacred space feels timeless, safe, and deeply peaceful. A quiet sanctuary where the soul can rest, restored and undisturbed by the passage of time. Step slowly out of the quiet temple of Isis, following Cleopatra as she glides along a cool shaded colonnade made of dark green serpentine stone. The sun is now high in the sky, illuminating the great harbour in vibrant shades of sapphire and turquoise. Yet inside these covered stone pathways, the air remains pleasantly cool, carried by the constant gentle breeze blowing in off the Mediterranean. You're entering the Royal Secretariat and Archive Hall, the central hub where the vast history, knowledge and administrative wisdom of Egypt are recorded and preserved. As you cross the threshold into the archway, you find yourself in a long, spacious room lined with high cabinets made of imported aromatic cedarwood. The scent of the room is deeply comforting, rich with the dry, earthy notes of ancient papyrus, dark iron gall ink, crushed acacia gum, and rich resin. Dozens of master scribes sit cross-legged on plush-woven reed mats along the polished floor. They work in complete harmonious silence, writing with thin reed pens upon long sheets of cream-coloured papyrus. Listen to the peaceful acoustic rhythm of the hall, the delicate, repetitive scratch of reed pens moving across textured papyrus. Scratch, slide, pause, dip. The soft, smooth rustle of heavy paper as long scrolls are carefully unrolled and checked against older master copies. Rustle, slide, rest. The sound is amazingly rhythmic, like the soft patter of gentle rain falling onto autumn leaves, a quiet, hypnotic cadence that naturally settles your nervous system into total relaxation. Cleopatra walks slowly down the centre aisle, her sandals making a faint rhythmic tapping sound against the smooth limestone floor. She pauses beside an elderly master scribe who is transcribing a mathematical treatise on the movement of water, She leans down slightly, watching his steady, practiced hand create lines of perfect, elegant Greek and Demotic script. She speaks to him in a soft, low tone, a gentle whisper that carries no tension or urgency. The scribe nods respectfully, his face lit by a warm, quiet smile. An attendant quietly steps up to you, offering a plush seat on a wide, low bench lined with soft goose-down cushions wrapped in undyed linen. You sit down, letting your body sink into the soft fabric. Your legs, your back and your shoulders feel heavy, warm, and thoroughly supported. You lean your head back against the smooth cedarwood panelling behind you. Inhaling deeply, your lungs fill with the clean, woody scent of cedar, aged paper, and sweet herbal ink. Inhale slowly, feeling the peaceful warmth of the archive hall. Exhale gently, letting your mind drop into absolute, effortless focus. From this comfortable vantage point, you watch the quiet dance of light filtering through the high, arched windows. Beams of soft golden sunlight illuminate tiny, floating specks of dust that drift lazily through the still air like microscopic stars moving in slow motion. Cleopatra moves to a long reading table set near the end of the hall. She unrolls a master map depicting the trade routes crossing the ancient world, from the silk roads of Asia to the gold mines of Nubia. She rests her fingers on the smooth surface of the papyrus, tracing the long, peaceful paths that connect distant civilizations. Her mind is calm, completely absorbed in the timeless beauty of human connection and knowledge. There is a profound sense of security within these thick stone walls. Centuries of human history are stored safely around you, preserved for future generations. Surrounded by this vast reservoir of quiet wisdom, your mind feels completely safe, calm, and free of all worries. Cleopatra gently rolls the ancient trade map closed and gives a subtle, appreciative nod to the master scribes. Leaving the quiet rustle of the archives behind, she leads you down a descending shaded arcade framed by climbing green ivy and white jasmine vines. With every step, the air grows increasingly fragrant, rich, and alive with the sweet scent of crushed herbs and wet earth. You're entering the Royal Botanical Conservatory, Cleopatra's private sanctuary for botany, medicine, and natural philosophy. Unlike the open gardens of Lochias, this grand space is enclosed by lofty stone arcades and high glass panels imported from Syria, allowing the warm Egyptian sunlight to flood the room while keeping the air inside soft, humid, and perfectly still. As you walk through the bronze double doors, a soothing wave of natural warmth wraps around you. The conservatory is a lush indoor jungle filled with rare, exotic plants gathered from across the known world. Sweet balsam trees from Judea, frankincense shrubs from Arabia, wild lavender from the hills of Hispania, and dark purple nightshades from the mountains of Persia. In the centre of the hall, shallow stone pools trickle with fresh water, nourishing raised terracotta beds overflowing with blooming herbs. Listen to the calm, comforting sounds of this living sanctuary, the slow, steady drip of water falling from carved marble leaves into small pebble-lined basins. Drip, trickle, splash. The subtle, soothing rustle of broad banana leaves swaying gently as warm currents of air float through the high glass ceiling. Swish, slide, rest. Cleopatra walks slowly down a narrow stone path, her fingers trailing lightly over the soft leaves of a blooming mint plant, releasing its cool, refreshing scent into the air. She approaches a long marble workbench set against the far wall. On the table sit dozens of delicate alabaster jars, stone mortars, pestles, and clear glass vials filled with natural oils, flower extracts, and aromatic resins. Here, the queen practices the ancient art of herbalism and perfumery. She takes a handful of dried rose petals and sweet clover, placing them into a smooth granite mortar. She begins to grind them with slow, steady, circular motions of the wooden pestle. Listen to the rhythmic, hypnotic sound of her work, the low, dry scraping of the pestle against the stone mortar. Grind, circle, press, rest. Over and over, a continuous, soothing cadence that lulls your mind into a state of total, serene focus. As the rose petals and clover are ground into a fine paste, a sweet, rich perfume blossoms into the air around the workbench. Cleopatra adds a few drops of pure golden jojoba oil, stirring the mixture until it becomes a smooth, fragrant salve. An attendant offers you a plush velvet seat beside a quiet pool filled with floating white water lilies. You sit down, letting your body sink completely into the soft cushions. The pleasant humidity of the conservatory warms your skin, easing away any remaining stiffness in your joints and muscles. You take a deep, slow breath, inhaling the intoxicating blend of crushed mint, sweet rose, fresh earth, and warm lavender. Inhale slowly, feeling your lungs expand with pure, clean herbal air. Exhale gently, letting your mind drift into complete, effortless tranquility. Cleopatra steps over to your seat, holding a small alabaster jar containing the newly made rose and clover salve. She offers it to you as a quiet gift of peace. You take the smooth stone jar, its surface cool to the touch, and breathe in its gentle, soothing scent. Around you, the conservatory rests in a state of perfect natural balance. The quiet trickle of water, the warm scent of green plants, and the soft light filtering through the glass wrap you in a protective cocoon of pure restorative rest.